Good evening, everyone. Holy balls, we just had a giant reveal for Tekken 7. They've revealed all of the remaining Season 2 characters. Now, I'm still in Europe visiting my parents, and I wasn't going to make a video this week. I haven't brought any of my equipment. This is supposed to sort of be my vacation, right? But when they revealed these characters, I felt that I needed to do something for you guys. I've been scavenging around the house for stuff I can use, and I'm currently recording this audio on my sister's boyfriend's gaming headset that he brought over by car in a hurry. So huge thanks to him, of course, but I'm sorry that this video has even lower production value than my already shoddy normal videos. I just watched the trailers literally a couple of minutes ago. I want to give you guys my initial impressions and talk a little bit about the excitement that is happening, and then 2 days from now I'll be back in Japan. I'll have all my stuff and we'll be making more in-depth videos on all of this. But for now I just want to talk initially about the characters and my thoughts on the roster and so on. So let's just start at the left, I guess, with Marduk. First of all, the visual redesign of Marduk is really amazing. This is the best he's ever looked. I really love what they did with the look of Marduk. If you didn't play the earlier games, he was just kind of a giant dude with no hair, no features on his body really, except that it was very large, and then he wore like a pair of shorts. So apart from his big personality and big body, there wasn't really a lot of stuff going on with the visual design of the character. It didn't really have a lot of impact, but now he looks a lot more dramatic. He has this really cool beard. He has a sort of violent hobo look going, but I really like it overall. It's the best he's ever looked. And looking at the animations and the gameplay, it all looked really great. So people who like Marduk are obviously going to be amazingly excited about this, because he's not an obvious pick for a DLC character in Season 2. But he's a very welcome pick. I think nobody's upset about Marduk being in. You're either super happy or you think it's just a fine choice. So it's a very safe choice, but I think it's great, and he looks amazing. One of my best friends who I learned Tekken along with is a Marduk main, so I've played against this character quite a lot. Used him a little bit myself, so I know some stuff about the character. He's obviously, a grappling character, not as extreme as something like King, but he has a lot of different throws and takedowns, and I think it's cool to have a character like him in the game, because since the latest, the last big games in the Tekken franchise, the UFC and MMA and stuff like that has really blown up, and Marduk has a little bit more of a realistic texture to him, and he's probably the closest to that sort of realistic style of effective martial arts that we see in sports right now. And so I think it can be important to have something like that in the game right now. The world of real life fighting has evolved, since Tekken Tag 2. And so if you want to get people who are into real martial arts into the game, it's important to have something that corresponds to reality and not just, giant robots and bears and so on. He's obviously unrealistically huge, but apart from that, I think he has more of a grounded style, and he looks really cool. So I'm happy about Marduk. I'm definitely going to be trying him out and doing some stuff with him. So if you look forward to content on Marduk, then feel free to come back for that. The next character we're going to talk about is Armor King, and this is the one choice that I'm a little bit surprised about. And I'm not unhappy about it at all. I think Armor King is super cool. When I was playing the really old Tekken games, on the original PlayStation, I used to use Armor King. I obviously didn't know anything about how to play the game back then, because I was just a kid, mashing buttons, but I naturally sort of gravitated towards him because of how cool I thought he looks, and I still think he looks really, really cool. So it's great. Probably the most requested character who still hadn't been revealed, and so I think the community is going to really respond to the reveal of Armor King. I think a lot of people are going to be very, very happy about this. I am not going to be playing Armor King and doing content like that, even though I might explore him and talk about him, in practice mode and so on. And I honestly think, even though a lot of people are very excited about having Armor King in the game, not that many people are actually going to end up maining him, because one thing you might not know about Armor King is he's actually a very advanced character. It takes some serious skill with Tekken to play him to his full potential. He's kind of a weird mix of a Mishima with King in a way. And I'm going to explain what I mean about that. If you don't know about, the Dark Upper and stuff like, his versions of King's Throws, like the Shining Black and so on, then that's not going to make a whole lot of sense as a statement. But be aware that you're going to need some serious execution skills to do really well with this character. And so I think it's going to be a niche character for people who really love him. But it's just a joy to have him in the game overall, because he's kind of a part that felt missing a little bit, and it's so cool to have that sort of mirror character, that alternate version of King in the game. But he's very much his own character. He doesn't function all that much like King at all, apart from the fact that he is a Jaguar guy who has a lot of throws and stuff. But he's a very unique cat, and we're going to talk about that in future videos as well. Next we have Julia, and I pretty much was sure that we were going to see Julia. For me, she's the most obvious character who still was missing in the game, and I was pretty sure she was going to be the next character in line. It looks like they've delayed her for a little bit later, which is fine. I'm fine waiting for her, but she's a very unique and cool character. Now, first interesting thing to notice that they haven't gone with Michelle or JC. They've gone with normal Julia. And if you're unaware, in Tekken Tag 2, Julia Chang, she dressed up as a wrestler, and she joined the roster as a kind of pseudo grappling kind of character who had her normal moves with some cinematic throws and stuff added, and she was the tag partner of Armor King in that game, I think, and Marduk was the tag partner of regular King. So along with King, these were sort of the four big grappling wrestling characters in the game, and that's why it's kind of weird to have these three characters revealed at the same time, because they're kind of thematically connected, and you'd think maybe Namco wanted to go in completely different directions with the reveal, like a sumo wrestler and a ninja and a grappler, but they're all kind of wrestlers in their own way. But they've gone with regular Julia, so I'm guessing that they're going to have some sort of reference to JC in the game, maybe an alternate costume, maybe a palette swap, maybe she's going to have some of her specific JC moves in the game. But just Julia's regular move list is really what we want in the game. It's unique, it's fun, it's iconic. She has the shotgun, she has her spinnies to the side, she has a very unique and fun hop kick that used to be considered pretty much the best hop kick in the game back in the day. She has a two-kick can kind of thing. Now we have stuff like Claudio and Shaheen in the game right now, so she probably won't have the best hop kick in Tekken 7, but she has a lot of aspects to her character, solid mids, good hop kick that I really love about the characters that I play. So out of the characters revealed so far, she's the one that I'm most likely to actually play quite seriously and spend some time with, even though I'm going to try them all, of course. But Julia is honestly a character that I might be interested in adding to my sort of repertoire, and it's sad that we didn't really have that much gameplay footage of her, so that I could start thinking about, how strong I think she's going to be in this version. But that all comes later, and that's fine. And then the last thing we had in the reveal for today is that we saw some gameplay for Negan, which I've been waiting for a long time. I've been very excited about Negan. I know he's kind of divisive. Some people think it's a weird choice. I agree that it's a weird choice, but it's a choice that's grown on me, and I think it's interesting to have this type of character in Tekken 7. And I've been just waiting to see what they're going to do with this gameplay, and based on what I saw, I liked everything about how he functions gameplay-wise. I didn't see any kind of weird, unique mechanics that he's bringing in from his own comic book or TV show. He kind of looked like a Tekken character with a bat, and he was doing sort of typical kind of moves, no fireballs and stuff, and I really appreciate that. And then we're just going to have to wait and see how good these moves actually are. We're going to have to wait a long time for frame data and stuff, which is where it gets really juicy. But initial impressions out of these four characters, I'm interested in playing 3 of them, Marduk, Julia, and Negan, and I'm happy about all 4 of them being in the game. So this is so great. It's such a positive thing. Great news, and I'm looking forward to making videos on all of these characters for you when I'm back in Japan and they start coming out. I just want to give a quick eulogy for the characters that didn't make it in, and I made a little thing down here, as you can see. I thought Zafina would be a great choice for this game. She's the only Tekken 6 character who hasn't made it in so far, and so it's kind of weird that she got left out. She wasn't very popular, but she was very unique and fun to look at, and so I thought Tekken 7 would be a great second chance for the really unique choices they went with in her design. Sort of a weird stance-based, insect-like kind of counter-hit character. Very unique and fun. Look up some Tekken Tag 2 footage of like a really good player playing Zafina, and you'll be impressed. There's some super cool stuff in there. Roger Jr. Looks like he got excluded because of some animal rights controversies. I'm not completely updated on that story. I would have loved to have seen him in the game, but a lot of people, you know, don't like the animal characters and robot characters. They want the series to be a little bit more grounded, which is maybe why he wasn't an obvious choice. Kunimitsu is a really cool character who started off as a palette swap for Yoshimitsu back in the day, but she came back in Tekken Tag 2 with a completely unique and very well designed move list that I really enjoyed using. It had all of my favorite aspects of a Tekken character, with the hop kick and the down forward one, cool combos and everything else. And then, yeah, Mihar is a joke, obviously, and then Gon Ryu, who I think is another iconic Tekken character who unfortunately has been left out so far. But I have to say, Tekken 7 has seen so much success and support so far, and it feels like a train that is still picking up speed. It is just this amazing renaissance for the Tekken franchise, so I'm definitely not ruling out a Season 3 or even, you know, further DLC characters in the future. So who knows, some of these characters might still have a chance at showing up. I know a lot of people have mentioned both Bruce and Wang. Those are not top picks for me personally, but they are really cool characters who I wouldn't mind having in this game either. So yeah, I think that's going to wrap up just my initial thoughts. I'm just very excited and thinking about how this is going to affect, you know, the roster, the way it functions right now. I'm going to be interested to see, you know, what kind of a rage drive we're working with these characters and stuff like that. It looked like Negan had a rage drive wall bounce, which is funny because I've been talking about how the rage or the wall bounce mechanic is already way too specific of a situation to make work, but now it looks like maybe you even have to be in rage, meaning that it's going to be even more limited. But who knows, that might be a great move that just becomes even more powerful at the wall. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to comment on the sort of cinematic, goofy way they made the reveals. I think it was fun, even though it was a little bit weird at times. But it's just a really positive and great day for Tekken. And so I wanted to make something for you guys, letting you know that I am alive and out here and reacting to this. I'm just, you know, on the other side of the world right now, and it's a little bit difficult to keep bringing the content. But I'm going to be back very soon, and we're going to talk a lot more about all of this. So I look forward to seeing you then. But for now, thank you so much for watching this short update video, and I'll talk to you guys again very soon.